DeMar DeRozan is still a free agent, and at this point, I think the bigger question isn't why the Miami Heat hasn't signed him yet. My question for today's episode is why hasn't anybody else signed him at this point? We're getting closer and closer to the season. Teams have filled out their rosters, and somehow a proven scorer like DeRozan is still just sitting out there. Like, what is he waiting for? Is he holding out for the money? Is he waiting for the best role? Or could he actually be waiting to see what happens with the Miami Heat? So before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, I'm a Sports Illustrated writer. I cover the Miami Heat and a few other teams. I also contribute for the 5 Reasons Sports Network. And for today's show, we have Ernest, a.k.a. Miami Heat Talk, back on the channel. Thanks for hopping on, Ernest. Appreciate the time. It's been a while.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. So excited. Anytime I get to talk Miami Heat basketball, it just makes my day better, man. It's great to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. And so I wanted to get your opinion. So we've all talked about DeMar DeRozan for the past few weeks or so, and he's still a free agent. And I understand it potentially could be around the money. Like, I also potentially understand that DeMar might want to start. There's been some speculation out there that he doesn't really want to come off the bench. Maybe he would for a contender. Obviously, he didn't want to do that for the Kings last year because the Kings are horrible. But why do you think he hasn't signed in general? Is he waiting for the Miami Heat? Because the Pistons last year, we saw in the playoffs, they were the number 1 seed. They had a very good team, but they needed another score. Same with like the Houston Rockets when KD got hurt. Like, there are teams that can use his services that have probably enough money. Like, why do you think no one else has swooped in? Like, why has he not decided as well? What are your thoughts on that angle?
Because nobody can offer more than Miami. Like that's really what it is. Because nobody has to make a decision right now. Training camp isn't until September.
Yeah.
So making a decision on August 10th doesn't change what the team chemistry is going to be like when training camp starts in September. What DeMar, and then you got to look at it from DeMar's perspective too. He was supposed to make $26 million. He was waived. Yeah, he's making 10, but he lost 16 million. So he's trying to get the best scenario for him. And I feel what he thinks is Miami, who has about 8 to 9 million left, something like that, of their mid-level exception. So that could be a 2-year, $16 million contract. Can give him the stability that he needs. Florida, no state taxes. The thing that I believe that's happening right now is the Heat are waiting for Clay or Zach LaVine. I think more Zach LaVine.
I hope.
I don't think that's gonna happen until the midseason. Like I really believe that Sacramento's like, let's just try to get this kid the ball out, raise his value, and we'll see what happens. You know, they have until the deadline to move him to get under the first apron line, under the tax penalty. They have time. I think the Heat are really waiting for Clay because they want to offer that mid-level exception to Clay. I think Clay's priority, and what DeMar is waiting for is if it doesn't work out with Clay, that money's going to him. Because I heard a report a few days ago that DeMar doesn't want the minimum. And that's what Miami's looking to offer him. So, you know, it could be DeRozan at the mid-level or Clay at the mid-level. It's just depending on who you would prefer.
Totally. So you think DeMar is waiting to see if the Heat like strike out on Clay to a certain degree and then like say, hey, this is the contender, right? That's the caveat that can offer the most, because the Bulls and other Nets, they could offer him more money if they wanted to. But do you think he's just playing that game of waiting to see what happens with Clay also? Like, does he want to go to the Miami Heat? Because if there's no one else out there that's a contender that has the money and he cares more about the money than winning a championship, then like, why hasn't he gone anywhere else? Like, do you think that's a factor as well? Because I heard the same thing. He doesn't want to play for the minimum. He wants to recoup some of that 26 million, to your point earlier. So what do you think about that?
I think it's a mix between both. I think he wants to get as much money as possible from a contender because, like you did mention, and that's something I forgot to mention earlier, I mean, there are other teams that can offer more money, your Brooklyns, your Chicagos, but he's not going to do anything on those teams. He wants to go somewhere at 36 where he can win, and the team that offers the most money. And there are other teams that are interested. I saw a report from Evan Siddery a couple days ago. It was between Miami, Cleveland, Toronto, Denver, and no, I believe those were the 4 teams. Cleveland still has a $6.1 million from their mid-level exception they can use. And then with Toronto and Denver, it's a minimum. So I feel like DeRozan is thinking, I want to go to the scenario where I have the best chance to win, where I can make the most money. And by waiting a few weeks, it's not going to hurt him because it's not like a team is offering him 20 million. He's basically waiting for a team that has the best shot to win to offer him the most money. It could be Miami. It could maybe be Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, DeMar coming off the bench for Cleveland, I don't think is a bad thing.
No, I mean, it'll be better fit with Miami because there's already a lot of guards there and wing players that they already have. But I think it makes more sense. But it's funny that like him and Clay are like in like the opposite situations. Like Clay, I understand that he wants more money. He is younger. He's 34. I believe he's going to be 35. DeRozan actually turned 37 yesterday. I understand why Clay would say, "Hey, give me the money. I already won 4 championships." You know what I mean?
Clay's
Like
36 actually. Just
36. Even okay,
yeah, he's
wow.
36.
Sheesh. But he already won 4 championships. So for him, it's like I understand him being like older, being like, I want a little more money. I already have 4 championships. Like he's not the number 1A option on those championship teams. It's like, yes, he already has the legacy of winning 4. I'm sure he would like to say, yes, I have 5, but he was never the number 1 option. But I understand why he would want more money. But DeMar, you haven't won a championship yet. You haven't won a playoff series in like 8 years. Like, wouldn't you rather focus more on winning a championship than the money aspect, right? Like maybe there could be a way where like you take maybe 1 million more than the minimum, which is like 4 million is the minimum. Fine. We'll give you 5. We'll give you more money on the second year because Andrew Wiggins is going to, his expiring contract ends this year, 30 million, but then he has a 2-year extension at 17 per. So like we that opens up 13 million there. Then we have a bunch of expiring contracts like Fontecchio, Drew Smith, and a few other players that can add up another like 8-10 million on our flexibility. So like, why would he not just like take a higher back end kind of deal and go for the championship? He shouldn't be carrying as much about money. He's made so much money theoretically, right? Like, I don't know. Don't you think that's like I just think that's kind of odd. Like a guy like him, who is a very good competitor, doesn't care as much about contending versus the money perspective. So
I wouldn't understand because I saw guys like Shane Battier taking less money to win. I saw guys like Udonis Haslem who had a way better offer with Dallas stay with the Miami Heat for less money to win. You know, taking a pay cut, especially at this stage of your career, isn't a bad idea if it helps you win. That's kind of what you do in today's NBA culture. When you're in your 20s, ball out and get the bag. And then by the time you're 34, 35, once your prime starts to dwindle, go get yourself on a championship team, find your spot on the team, you know, be that 6 man, be that, you know, leader off the bench and help the team win. We've seen countless stars do it. You know, even Miami Heat culture. You've seen guys like Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning taking lesser roles to commit to winning. At 36 years old, that should be DeMar's focus. But, and here's what I'm thinking. What DeMar might be doing is if I wait, I could get more money because there's mutual interest between Miami and DeMar. It's been that way for years now. DeMar is where I think, Miami is where I think DeMar is going to end up. You know, Kalshi has them as the favorites as well. But I think what DeMar is thinking is if I sign with Miami now and take a minimum or a little bit more than the minimum, that's fine. But if I wait and they don't get Klay Thompson, now they're coming at me and they can offer me 8 mil for the year. It's like I said earlier, whether he signs with Miami today or a week before training camp doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference to him. The only difference it doesn't make a difference to us as fans. He's coming. The only difference it can make to him is potentially $6 million, $5 or $6 million more. And I mean, if anybody on this planet, if I come to them and I say, if you just wait a few weeks, you can earn an extra $5 million. Come on.
Even if you have a shit ton of money too.
Doesn't matter. Still,
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. We have a shit ton of money. That's fine. But at this stage, especially as an athlete, it's over. It's coming to an end soon. And those multi-million-dollar contracts ain't coming anymore. So you got to set yourself up for the future. Me, I would love to get both DeMar DeRozan and Klay Thompson here. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I think it's going to be one or the other. And I think what Miami is thinking right now is what we need in that 13th spot. We need a lights out shooter. We need a lights out shooter or a closer. So it's either going to be DeMar or Klay. If you can get, and their priority is Klay. because Clay can start for them. And here's the thing, if you get them both, what about Pelle Larson and Tim Hardaway Jr.? That's why I think it's going to be one of them. And then the 14th spot, one of your young guys, or you take a big man like Nick Richards. That's what I think is most likely going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be only one of them if they both want the money. If they both want the 8 million, then it has to be one of them.
Well, one
Who
can
would you
take the
prefer?
minimum.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who would you prefer of the two? Are you like the Heat? Do you think you worried about the shooting? Like, would you rather have him or let's say DeMar does come off the bench because I think Tim Hardaway probably is a better fit starting
Yeah.
wise. Then we have him in the sixth man. Let's say maybe seventh man, depending on how Pelle Larson, right? Those are going to be the top two guys off the bench. So, who would you rather have?
That's a tough one, man, because they're both
It really
they
is.
they both provide something great. I would love either or,
We need both.
but
We need
yeah,
both.
give me both. But then it's like, what about Pella and Tim? Like, it's just gonna be a cluster. It's gonna be a cluster at the wing and the guard position. It's just gonna be too much. And then, I mean, yeah, maybe you can talk a trade later on. But if I had to pick between one, I'm going with DeMar. And the reason why is because fitting. Like, I can put Tim Hardaway as a starting shooting guard with Davion Mitchell, and that starting front court, that'll be a beast. I have DeMar as my sixth man. I have Pella as the Swiss Army knife. I have Nikola Jovic as the point guard coming off the bench, and I have Bobby Portis as the big. I also have Svantecchio, Conwell, Myron Gardner, and if we can get another big, I think that's a well-rounded roster. And I just think at this stage of their careers, DeMar can give you more of that clutch gene. Like, yeah, Clay's a shooter, but I would like the guy that with 10 seconds left on the clock, I can give the ball to and say, get us this bucket. And if you have Bam and Giannis setting a screen, creating space for DeMar, I just think it could work. But Clay wouldn't be a bad option as well, man. Like I'm telling you, it's like 51-49. It's not a big split. It's a tiny little split.
All right, we'll close here. Same split. I think I technically go Clay just because of fit. I mean, like, I don't know. I do want DeMar DeRozan. I want both ideally.
They're both great.
It's like it's so hard. Like I would say 59-40, like 51-49, just because of fit. I think we need more shooters just because Giannis is gonna dominate the paint. There's gonna be so many eyeballs on him. We literally, I don't know if we invented this in the playoffs, but we built the wall to beat them in the bubble, right? Like we literally, and we beat them again in 2023, whatever year it was. We built that wall. Like, so if they're gonna build a wall, we need guys who could shoot, and we need 3-point shooting, and we don't have an elite 3-point shooter. And adding probably the third best, maybe second best shooter of all time, who's still solid, who shot 40% on 9 attempts, I think is a need we have, because Giannis is going to score 30 points per game. We haven't had a guy score 30 points per game since who? You're a historian.
Wade.
Who did he? What happened that year? He won the scoring title, which was like 31
Yeah.
points almost. LeBron
Like 30,
never did
yeah.
it. The most LeBron.
Nope.
I mean, granted, if LeBron was just LeBron and Bosh, he would have. But we had a big three, so LeBron averaged like 25, 26. We haven't had a guy average over 25 points since LeBron. Like Tyler Hero got 23. Norman Powell averaged 21, 22 points. So if Giannis can go back to normal and score 30 points, and Bam could average like maybe 21, 22, and then Wiggins gets you 15, Clay can still get you like 15 points. We have enough scoring. I just don't think we have enough.
I think so.
3-point shooting around. I think it's going to open up the floor for Giannis fit-wise.
I think we have more shooting than what people realize. I think we're not getting enough credit because not a lot of people are talking about what we have. I think the fact that Fontecchio's name doesn't come up. Conwell is a nice one. Bobby Portis shot 46%, Davion 40, Wiggins 41. Pella can hit the three. Drew Smith can hit the three. Myron Gardner averaged 38%. I just think that the stigma that the media is putting out there is having people think we don't have shooting when realistically we do. Bam is a shooter as well. Could we use more shooting? Absolutely. Who can't? It's a shooting league. But to say that we don't have it, I don't see it. Maybe I'll be wrong in the season. Who knows? But I look at numbers doesn't lie. And I look at a lot of these guys and I think, okay, we got something here. Giannis is going to create space. And come on, these are NBA players. Like, they get better. So I really see it, man. I do.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're just sitting around waiting. I'm hoping we get both. We'll see if DeMar DeRozan comes around and hopefully takes that minimum, perhaps, and we can maybe give him a little more money, do a 2-year deal. that could be pretty solid. We'll see. But anyway, before we hop off, you want to let the audience know again where they can find you online?
Yes, find me on my channel, Miami Heat Talk. Look me up on YouTube, Instagram. We're about to hit 11,000 subscribers, so I need the continued support. And don't forget, like the episode, click my man, click that subscribe button. We getting him big places as well. Thanks for having me on, Amir.
Appreciate it, man.
And that's enough said.